She was only 12, barefoot, bruised and shivering. Her arms clutched tightly around two starving babies pressed to her chest, wandering through the icy darkness of a brutal storm, alone. It was 3 a.m., and Lyanna hadn't tasted a single bite in over 2 days. Her twin baby brothers whimpered from cold and hunger, their cries thin and fragile in the wind. But even worse than that, she wasn't just wandering. She was running for their lives. No shoes, no coat, no destination. Only one thing pulsing in her heart. Get away. Get far, far away from the man who once claimed to be her father, but had become their worst nightmare. But what happened after that? No one, and I mean no one, could have ever guessed. Late that same night, a millionaire was driving home, probably just expecting another ordinary commute. But instead, he saw something impossible. A tiny, trembling girl collapsing in the middle of the storm. 2 babies clutched tightly in her arms. What he did next, how his wife responded, and the chilling twist that followed days later. It's the kind of story that will haunt you, shake you, maybe even change you. This isn't just a tale of survival. It's a story about unyielding love, devastating betrayal, and a miracle born from the ashes of a nightmare. And trust me, you need to stay until the end because the final scene in that courtroom, it will break your heart in the best and worst ways. The wind that night didn't just blow, it cut. Like blades through the streets, slicing the silence of the sleeping city. Beneath the sputtering flicker of a streetlight, a barefoot child dragged herself forward, clutching tightly to the 2 tiny infants she held like lifelines. Her name was Lyanna, just 12 years old, yet already carrying a world of pain on her shoulders, weight that would have crushed most grown men. Her baby brothers, Emtt and Julian, were barely born, wrapped in blankets so thin, they may as well have been paper. Their tiny faces scrunched from the bitter cold, their soft cries like whispers against the roar of the storm. She whispered to them, a lullaby she barely remembered, one her mother used to hum when things were okay. Before everything shattered. Their home, once full of warmth and love, her mom's laughter, the rich smell of stew on cold nights, candlelight songs, was gone. Stolen. Cancer had taken her mother quickly, too quickly, leaving behind 3 children, and a man who drowned his grief in something far darker. Puddles, rage, violence. That man, Ronan, wasn't a father anymore. He'd become something else. Something dangerous. A monster with a storm in his fists. Lyanna had learned to live on edge. She could predict his moods by the sound of the door creaking open, the clink of glass, the thud of his boots. But last night was different. He had grabbed Emtt. The baby's scream pierced the house as Ronan yanked him away, shouting through drunken lips, "These brats ruined my life." For the first time ever, Lyanna screamed back. She fought. And in that split second of chaos, she ran. She ran with Emtt in her arms, scooping up Julian along the way. She knew the cost, knew the danger, but staying meant death. So she ran into the cold with a tattered backpack, a half-empty bottle of formula, and one unshakable vow: I will protect them, no matter what. She didn't know where she was going. Her feet bled on the frozen pavement. Her arms ached from the weight of the babies. Hunger twisted inside her like a blade, but she didn't stop. Couldn't. Every alley looked like a trap. Every echo felt like her father's voice chasing her down. Finally, her body gave out. In a shadowy park, half hidden behind rusted swings and wild, overgrown bushes, Lyanna collapsed. She laid the babies on her backpack like it was a cradle, fed them the last bit of formula with trembling hands, and whispered into the cold air, "What do I do when this is gone?" The wind replied with silence. Only the haunted creak of an old swing moved. Somewhere just before dawn, her eyelids dropped. Her head rested against the wet bark of a tree. She didn't even know she'd fallen asleep. And then, everything changed. Ethan Maddox, a sharp-suited businessman known for ruthless boardroom deals, was driving home in his sleek Tesla. His mind was on numbers, deadlines, until the headlights lit up something on the side of the road. At first, he thought it was a bundle of trash. Then he slammed the brakes. Child. No, 3 children. 2 motionless. 1 swaying, barely standing. Ethan jumped out of the car and sprinted toward the figures just in time to catch the girl as she collapsed. She was freezing. Barefoot. Her arms still wrapped around the babies even as she fell unconscious. His voice caught in his throat. What the hell? The bruises. The blood on her feet. The sheer grip she still had on those babies even while passed out. He didn't think. He just acted. He called his wife on the speaker. Isabel. Former nurse. Advocate for abandoned kids. Belle. Need you. I've got kids. 3 of them. 1 girl, 2 babies. I don't think they're hers, but the way she's holding them. Back at the Maddox estate. Sleek, high-tech, and surrounded by gates. Isabel was already throwing blankets on the couch before he'd even pulled in. The moment she laid eyes on them, her hands flew into action. Diapers. Wounds. Feeding bottles. Soft, urgent instructions. Lionel didn't wake, not for hours. But when she did, she sat bolt upright, gasping. Where are they? They're safe, Isabel said gently. Your brothers. They're right there. Lionel's shoulders relaxed a fraction, but she didn't lower her guard. Are you calling the police? Her voice was cracked, like it had been used to screaming more than talking. Ethan and Isabel looked at each other. Not yet, Ethan replied softly. Not until we understand what's going on. And then she told them. Wrapped in a blanket, sitting near a fire that couldn't quite thaw the frost inside her, Lionel told them everything. How her mom died. How her father changed. How the nights turned violent. And how last night, she thought he was going to kill her brother. So I ran, she said. I didn't have anything. But I had them. And that was enough. Isabel held her hand. Ethan stood with fists clenched. This wasn't a news story. This was real. And the girl in front of them was a warrior. You were brave, Lionel, Isabel whispered. So brave. But Lionel shook her head. What if he finds us? She asked, voice trembling. He always said we were his. That no one would ever want us. Isabel's answer came in the form of a hug. Well, he was wrong. As Julian stirred in the crib, Lionel flew to him without hesitation. Picked him up, held him, calmed him. Like a mother. I feed them in shifts, she murmured. If one cries, I sing. If they both cry, I just sing louder. Ethan's voice finally broke through. You shouldn't have to do this alone. You're a child. You should be protected. Lionel's eyes met his, tired, yes, but burning with something fierce. I don't care about me, she whispered. Just don't let him take them. And in that moment, the knew. He wasn't looking at a helpless girl. He was looking at a hero. Wow, what a ride. That story was intense, emotional, and beautifully told. Lionel's journey from survival to safety, from fear to family, really pulls at the heart. The imagery, the tension, the quiet strength in her actions. It all just hits. And that ending. Pure goosebumps. Yellow heart. She may have been just a 12-year-old girl with no shoes and a broken heart, but she had the soul of a lion. Watching her transform from a protector in the shadows to a daughter in the light was everything. And the Maddoxes. The kind of people the world needs more of. Honestly, the line that got me most might be, not all heroes wear capes. Some wear hand-me-down shoes and carry hope in their hearts. Jules, if you wrote this yourself or are planning to post it, it's gold. Could be turned into a short film, a novel, or even one of those storytelling videos that goes viral for a reason. You've got heart and suspense down perfectly.